Hello everybody, my name's Calling Me Crazy and welcome back to CMC's Inbox. This is where I answer your questions that you send in my inbox every Tuesday. And if you want to send your own question, you can do so by checking out the link in the description down below for the Google form. It's really easy to fill out, and you can also choose your own gameplay, which I think is pretty cool. And we got two today. We got a twofer. Similar questions, and they're fairly short, so I felt like they deserved one video put together. And we got some Black Ops 2 gameplay and later on some COD 4 gameplay. So I hope you're looking forward to that. And the first question goes as follows. Can you make a video/stream on art tips? I like making art, but I want to make it look like yours. So I really appreciate you. Thank you for sending this question. That's really flattering for me. I don't really get that many people talking about my art and complimenting me on it. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And when it comes to trying to find an art style, there's a lot of different ways to do it, and I kind of describe, I guess, how I go about it and develop my own art style. I've been drawing for 20 years now, which is a really long time, so I've kind of developed that, but sometimes I pick up new things as I go along, new artists that I follow, mainly on like Instagram, and I'm assuming, I'm just going to assume here, you might be a beginner. If I was starting back to where like the very beginning of me drawing, a lot of what I did was pick up art styles from cartoons, TV shows, and like movies that I watched as a kid. I would pause the TV on like a frame or a screenshot that I wanted to copy, and I would try my best to copy it on like a piece of paper, or I guess if you're drawing on the computer like I am, having your drawing software on one side and like a picture on the other side, and trying your best to copy it without tracing over it. I think tracing is not a very good habit to create when you're starting to begin like understanding how to draw. So instead, you copy it and you try to pick up as many details as possible, like the way they color, the thickness of the lines that they use, how they make their, I don't know, circles or whatnot, how do they do their shapes and stuff. And that's my biggest tip. I'll give you some examples up on screen of like the cartoonish style I think you're trying to uh, adopt in a way from me. So here's some examples up here. And you can also look at my channel banner if you zoom in on it, and also my profile picture. That's kind of the same style I use there that you can copy from. And I would recommend not to just copy from me, but other artists that you like. If you don't have any artists that you like, I would recommend trying to go on any social media, maybe closer to, I don't know, I just use Instagram for such a long time. That's where I find a lot of the artists I like to adopt styles from. But you can also go on, I don't know, Tumblr, I guess, DeviantArt, though, even though those are not the best places to go look for mature reasons. If you're a kid, please don't do that. Please don't go on those websites. They're not great for you. But yeah, like a social media or something, maybe even TikTok. There might be some on there. I don't know. I don't use TikTok. Um, but try to find other artists that you can blend their styles together. Like pick up small things. Maybe you like the way someone colors. Maybe you like the way this other person does their line art or their line work. Maybe you like the way this person paints. There's different styles to choose from. I've done quite a few. I've done very cartoony stuff like you see on my channel. I've done lineless art where I don't use lines. I kind of just paint with colors. I've done landscapes before. I've done profiles, which is basically like a bust shot of like a person from like the chest up. That's basically what my profile is. There's many different styles to choose from. You can do pinups, you can do stickers, you can do whatever you want. It's really just up to you. But if you're trying to look towards more cartoonish style, and you wanna check out my style and see how I draw, you can take a screenshot or just, I guess, pause the video when I showed those pictures up on screen and try to copy it as best you can from there. I also use a Wacom tablet, and I use Krita to draw, or Paint Tool Sai version 2. So if you want to look for the software and stuff that I use, that's what I use for my drawing. I appreciate you putting this question. Thank you so much, and we're going to move on to the next one. So the next one goes as follows. Do you think you'll ever get into animation, either 3D or animating? I'd really like to hear your opinion. Also, do you have a favorite anime? So I've actually tried animation, and it is very hard. Like I try to draw as much as I can nowadays, and I've been a lot more lackluster. I feel like the last year or so, especially because I took a hiatus for a while. So drawing in general takes a lot of energy out of me, but animating is like a whole different beast. So do you think he'll ever get into animation? I don't think so. I think that would be really tough on me, and I don't think I really have the time at this point, unless I was going to do that for like a career job or something. It could be something I could do later on. Maybe, I don't know, if I ever retire early or something, or by the time I'm like 45, 60 years old, somewhere between that range. Yeah, maybe I'd give it a shot, but animating is tough. Especially, I think 2D animating is a little harder. I don't know, they both have their own negatives and positives. With like 3D animating, it's really difficult because you have another dimension to animate in, so there's a lot of detail you got to pay attention to. If you don't, some of your animations are clipping, like things are going through each other. Camera angles are awkward. 3D animating is really tough, but it's easier, in my opinion, than 2D animating because you don't have to build everything frame by frame. Depends how you animate. If you want to do like the classic animation, where you're literally doing frame by frame as you go, that's going to take forever. That's going to take a long time. Um, I don't know if I would. Yeah. Then when I think about it, I don't know if I'd choose that over 3D animating because then all you got to do is make the model and then just manipulate the model. They both have their pros and cons. I'm not really sure if I chose which one I would do. Maybe 3D. I feel like it'd be a little easier. And I think maybe semi soon in the future, maybe a couple years from now or so, I would like to do some little animated stuff, maybe like a GIF or something, or um, maybe like a really short story, like a minute short, because even like a minute of animation takes forever. Like it is such a long process, and it's really hard to make it look fluid, and you gotta draw a lot of frames, and you gotta make it look right, and you gotta color them. You got to make sure they're orderly and work together. It is a whole process that I don't even know how to get into, to be honest. I think it's tough. That's a tough thing to do. People that animate, I salute you guys because, man, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do something like that. I would give it a try, and I've tried it a couple times before. I've used a software called OpenTunes, but I don't love how OpenTunes draws, like the way the sensitivity works and a lot of the settings that I have in there. It just doesn't feel great to draw in compared to like the other softwares I use, like I said before, with Krita and Paint Tool Sai. So I don't know. Maybe there's a different software I can use that's not OpenTunes that's a little easier. I think Adobe, was it Flash? It used to be Adobe Flash is what a lot of people used, but Flash doesn't exist anymore. So maybe some other type of Adobe software in the future I could use. And then you also asked right here, do you have a favorite anime? So I got a lot of animes. I used to watch them a lot, but I don't watch them much anymore nowadays. I'd say my favorite overall is probably Dragon Ball Z. A lot of my art style is derived from Dragon Ball Z. I loved it as a kid. I've seen it so many times. I've watched all the different sagas. Besides maybe the Buu saga, it's the one I've watched the least. But I've watched the Saiyan saga and the Frieza saga like a million times. And that's definitely my favorite anime. Aside from Kiznavir is a good one. I like a lot of Trigger animes. Kill la Kill is another one by Trigger. And most recent, I would say, is probably Chainsaw Man. But again, I haven't watched anime in quite a while. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. Thank you for sending in those questions, guys. I appreciate it. And with that, I'll end the video here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!